In this video I will show you how to load some contacts in your Android app, how to read them and to load them in a list. First I will show you my app. That's my default app. It's a Fritzbox app. First stuff is made for my router, reading the contacts from my home office. And now we have here the contacts of my Android smartphone. And now when I push the button, I get a list with a main item and a smaller text item with a telephone number. And in there is the first name, last name, and so on. So this is the app, and as we see there in the contacts, these are the contacts of the emulator, the Hexam. It's a Nexus, emulating a Nexus, but it's only a frame. So here we have 3 contacts, for example, and then this contact, this contact we have here 2 telephone numbers, and there is a first name and last name, and here as you see the telephone number and some other mobile phone numbers and the email. So but this email, this demonstration will only show how to read generally that stuff. So where shall we start now? We start at whenever you want to read contacts in your file, then in your app, then you have to edit here in the app manifest, Android manifest.xml. You have to enter there this small block, uses permission Android name, and then when you type it in there, it's IntelliSense, so the text will come up as soon as you type it in there. So we have here, we need the Android permission, or uses permission, Android permission, read contacts. That's to read all that stuff. You have to do this in advance so that the stuff will run. So and now we go to our app itself. First we have here the in resources layout, the activity main. That's a default default app. And in this app I load always those fragments, but at this moment I will not explain how the fragments are some subpages in this small white block, how those are loaded. I will show you only the sub-site, or here this fragment A contacts or fragment Android contacts. This looks like also like an activity, as you see, but it's only this small block, and there's a big button, and in the button you see there the button, there we have, that's the button load Android contacts on click, and the on click is on the Java code. And we have here list view, and the list view is called ListView Android Contacts. And as you have seen in the in my previous videos, now that's all advanced stuff, but it's not main point of the loading the contact, but I explain it there. We have to load this list, you have to we also have to use this this list contact Android items. So this those 2 lines which you see there, first row, second row, this is a design. This design is it's a relative list. It's a sub element. It's a XML file, and in the XML file we have the first text view and the second text view. That's the first text view, second text view, and this list, this design model, let's say like relative layout, is loaded with an adapter in the list view. So this was all in advanced stuff at that side. Now we have this button read contacts at button read my contacts here, Android contacts. There this. Then when we click on there, we go here to the Android contacts. Here we are, and here get the Android contacts. Quite a simple stuff. So when we want to read something, or when we want to collect contacts, then we first create a small class. Let's say this one, public class Android contact. That's a contact, and we say, okay, we have several public stuff in there. So there's a string Android contact name and a contact telephone number, for example. It's a simple small data model. Now when we start, we say, okay, first I want to collect all that stuff. That's give me a new array list with the elements of Android contact, of these elements what we have seen here. Make me create me a new list of Android contacts. This list is called array list Android contacts, and an equals new list with contacts. And now we start with a let's say with a connection to the reading stuff from the app, from the smartphone. We first need a cursor. That's nothing than it's a record set. Let's say this is like a record set. It's called here a cursor. Cursor Android contacts. Let's when we define it here, we start with setting it to null. And then we ask the database, which is called in here content resolver. That's the class, and I say, okay, create me a new content resolver written with a small letter. Get content resolver. So this is nothing else than prepare the database, give me the connection to the database of all items which are in our Android system. That's the database, and that's a record set. And then we say, okay, start that stuff, and my cursor, my record set, give me from my database my query, contacts, contract, contacts, all that stuff. Give me an URI, give me an item of all contacts. So database Android, give me all contacts with all null means no filter. Give me all. And we have here try and catch block, because sometimes the system, if the system has no allowance to this Android manifest, then it will crash in here. So then we will get an get message here, an exception, and stuff may break there. Okay, now we have the record set, database. We initialize the record set. We say give me all contacts. So when we are at this position, then we get those 3 records from the database. Now we ask if there is a record set, get count, then do something, on the other way do nothing. And now we say this cursor, record set, as long as you may move to the next. It's like end of file or something like this on record set on a database. As long as you are able to move next, do the following stuff. Give me create a new contact with nothing in there, an empty name and an empty telephone number. And then I say, okay, we don't need this anymore. My contact ID, that's the ID field of this item. My cursor, my actual record set, where I am at the moment, here my actual record set, give me the index of contacts, the ID number. So this is a number, like on all databases on record sets. That's an ID of the actual record set, and then and also give me the display name. So this is the name and this is my ID. And we may save it on my class or my contact, save the contact name with the display name what we got there. And then the model on the of the data set in data structure in Android is that as we have seen there, let's go to there, my user, my contact, has several phone numbers and email and several emails and several websites and all this stuff. So for all the additional stuff we need a small loop which says if my actual record set has a number, give me the number, or give me that bit, the boolean, give me the boolean, or in here it is an integer. If there is a number, a phone number available, then loop as long as you want in here and say okay, content resolver, the database, give me from my database the query phone, common data kinds, phone, content URI, null, and here's the filter of the actual filter of this one. That's what we collected in here. And then we say give me a small record set, phone cursor or phone record set, as long as this first phone contact may loop, be able to loop, as long we are able to do this collected in the telephone number. In this case, to be honest, we only write always over this telephone number, but you are also able to save several numbers in there. But for demonstration, it's just run here around and take the first one, and after the first one, you may break. So as long as you have a telephone number and as long as you loop in this record set, collect that stuff, and then when you are finished, collect my Android contact into my list. As you remember, here we said had a list. We said okay, start with a list, empty list, first contact, second contact, third. So this is a stable. So this is a list. And then we say okay, show this stuff. This is now stuff, an item of the previous lessons. We take this list into a array adapter. This is a class on here, written on here. It's not too much stuff, and this adapter does nothing else than it takes that it fills the those classes, those items, into that file where we had this structure with the first big row and small row and text view, and then it as long as it had filled that small file, then it will load it to the list view. And that's what we have here. We have here our Fritzbox, and as soon as I click on there, I get a big row, small row, big row, small row. That's the application. And here for additional stuff, here's my my adapter to load the list view. That's not the main focus at the moment. I will save all that stuff. As I hope you could follow that. It's just a simple database and a record set where we loop there and we save it in a small class, and the class will go to the list view. I will save all that stuff in the link below, and you may use that stuff in your own application. And if you have questions, then give me a call. And if you like it, then subscribe.